Here we go.
Okay, so how many of you know that there is still a form of slavery in the world? Okay, so a few of us, that's good. So there is still a form of slavery, very sadly. It's made its way to present day. I know this because my family actually sponsors 3 kids from India that are threatened by human trafficking. They're known as the Dalits. They're the very lower class of the classism in India. They're actually not a class. It's like underneath, like the lowest one. There's like another sect of it, which is the Dalits. And what this organization does is when you sponsor a kid, you actually pay for their education and pay for schools to be built in India. This leads to the kids actually getting an education so they can grow up and get jobs and have like a good financial future, so they don't become the victims of human trafficking, which is a really good cause. And we've actually had some kids graduate, which is really cool. But actually 1.5 million, there are 1.5 million victims in the US that from human trafficking. So it's very prevalent in the US. We're not a third world country, but it's still very much a problem and it's happening. So today I'm going to discuss the problem, the solution and the outcome, and what you can do to help, or how you can see it. Okay, so this is from Williams, the Harvard Journal of Law. So traffickers, what they do when they're trying to get kids and people, and men and women, to get trafficked is they don't they lure them in, basically. So a lot of the people that are trafficked are from impoverished areas. They're a lot poor, low-income families, and what they do is a lot of those kids, they prey on, young kids, men and women. They want a different way of life. They want to have a better living condition, a more sustainable life. They want more of just a better thing of life, and they offer them like money for like their services when they don't actually pay them. They get forced into doing things that they don't want to. This leads to also sexual trafficking and child labor. So my second point is from the Arc of Hope for Children, 2018. So 59% of women, 14% of men, 17% of girls, and 10% of boys internationally are trafficked. And I think the good thing to mention here is that the highest 2 percentages up there are from women and girls, because they are sexually trafficked. They're basically the victims of this. And this is just a huge problem. This should not be happening in the world that we live in today, but it's such a huge international problem that we need to address. And I also have a map here that has like the concentration of human traffickers and things that can happen, so it's very prevalent. And so I'm going to talk about the solution now, and I think good to point out that these solutions won't completely diminish the problem. These will help though. So this is from, oh my gosh, hold on. Fight Slavery Now, 2013. Trafficking victims are protected by the act, the TVP, which is Trafficking Victims Protection Act. There is laws that prohibit this, obviously. The thing is, they're not necessarily working. So what we want to do is improve the TIP report, and the TIP report is Trafficking in Persons report, and this is the report that the UN has inflicted on a bunch of countries. So different countries have to give reports of how many victims are being trafficked and like what the statistics are. And the reason why we want to reform this a little bit is because the countries don't give credible information and sourcing of where they're getting their statistics from. So we want to make that so that it's a credible source, so that we know where this is coming from and it's not just false information that these countries are giving. We also want to protect oh my gosh, I forgot. But we want to improve it so that, all countries in the globe have to give this report, so that it creates more awareness. And giving this information and letting this information be known just really educates people and brings awareness to the situation and how you can help. Moving on to my last one, which is the outcomes. This is from the U.S. Department of Civil Rights and Public Policy, 2010, and this was on like the 10th anniversary of when the TVPA came out. So I think the biggest advancement that they've seen is those partnerships between organizations, federal laws, international enforcement, and just a bunch of different people. And what this creates is, this creates more of like a community. More people are talking about it, more people are learning about it and knowing that it's a problem that we need to see it in the world and that we need to be aware of so that we can prevent other people. If you see it happening, you can report it. The last one is from Johnson, according to Johnson, I think it's Civil Rights and Christianity, 2018. We also, one of the outcomes is to end the emotional abuse that people deal with. So bringing more awareness can actually end like the fear, because we understand the problem, we know the problem, we can take hold of it. People aren't, and also the victims that are traumatized by this and that are happening about this, they can be supported in a way. And so the last thing is, for more information, there's a human trafficking hotline up here. And you can definitely use that, and I hope you learned a lot about this. I really hope you guys are aware of this problem and aware of this. If you see it, if you know about it, if someone's dealing with something, you can help them. I just want to create awareness about this. And also fightslaverynow.org. So today I discussed the problem, the solution, and the outcome that we can all help to improve about human trafficking. Thank you.